I've raised money for my company called SodaHead.com, which is a new media tech company, which is my background. So I can speak to that, and hopefully these rules will be able to apply to others. SodaHead raised over $12 million from venture capital, friends and family, and angels. So it really covers the gamut of different types of places you can raise money from. I've also been at companies that raised over hundreds of millions of dollars and companies that have been acquired for hundreds of millions of dollars. And one of the important things to think about when you're raising money is, well, what's the point? Are you raising money because you need capital to run the business? Or are you raising, well, why would an investor put money into that? Are they looking because they're looking for a return. They're not just being a charity. Unless it's the government and grants is a whole other issue. But if you're an investor, or if you're raising money from investors, you need to be able to provide them with a return on their money. And so you've got to work night and day, work your tail off so that you can prove to them and give them back money on top of what they invested in. It's super important to realize that they're not there to be your friend and to just provide capital for you to keep going. You need to raise the valuation of the company from what they invested in to what it sells at, which leads to a point of, well, how much valuation are these investors investing at? If you ask for too much of a valuation, then when it comes time to sell the company, if you haven't increased that valuation significantly, you're not providing value. And where that might turn around and bite you is that they will not want to sell the company at the same point that you do. You've put your hard work and sweat and equity into the company, so you might be willing to take a lower offer because any return is cash to you, but they won't. They want to see the higher offer. They might toss you out of the company in order to keep going for that higher payoff so that they get a return on their money. So another question to ask is, well, how much should we raise? It depends. Why do you need to raise money at all? You need to raise money not so that you can pay yourself. Do not tell investors that. Instead, you need to raise money because you need to keep the company running and to grow it and to provide a return for them. So how much money do you need to do that? That's where you need to be the business owner. Budget your company, look for the long-term payoff, and structure it so that you provide yourself enough of a runway to get there. Now, one of the problems is if you don't take enough money, you run out, and even sometimes worse is that you start doing stupid things to avoid running out. So before you run out of money, you could run the company into the ground by taking a paranoid approach to running the company so you don't run out of money. The other thing is if you take too much money, then you run into those problems of not spending it well, you become lazy, the investors aren't going to see a return on their money. They can get paranoid that you're not running a lot of money properly and toss you out of your own company. So when it comes to raising money, you got to think of returning equity investment to the investors and working as much as you can to do that no matter how much money you raise. Raise enough money that you keep the company going and give yourself enough runway to do the creation of value for those investors, but not too much more.